Venus is dead. With these words, lives were changed and Ollingford Academy was doomed. Once Venus was found dead, people from far and wide wanted to hear the story of the two girls murdered at Ollingford. The story had been leaked by some of the students, and reporters started showing up to the once private grounds of Ollingford Academy with questions and demands from the public.
My name is Lucas Livingston. I'm with the Daily Charger. Miss Roxburgh, what is happening here? The public needs to know. You can't keep us in the dark forever.
You cannot be on the premises. This is private property. These girls' families pay for the privilege of privacy. They do not have to talk to you. And neither do I.
The parents of these students must be very curious about what is happening here at Ollingford. We know you aren't informing them either. Everyone has questions about the deaths of your students.
Miss Roxburgh, how do you respond to rumors that Ollingford Academy will be closing its doors for good? This is Ginger Carson speaking for Westview News.
I don't! The public has no right to this information.
Keeping reporters off of school grounds had become one of Dean Roxburgh's primary duties. Of course, this made more reporters want stories about the suspicious happenings at Ollingford. Roxburgh was terrified the families of Ollingford girls would force the school to close. Many families had already pulled their students out. Just as Roxburgh was sending away Livingston and Carlson, today's bothersome reporters, Cordelia, Lucy, and Beth walked by the front steps, a place students had generally stayed away from, as no one wanted to talk about or be reminded of the tragedies they had faced.
You're Cordelia, right? You're best friends with Lillian and Venus? What have you been doing since your friend's death? Are you afraid you might be next?
How has it affected you? Could you tell us more about it?
No! I can't talk about this. Not here, not now, and definitely not with you. Why don't you all just leave us alone? I'm sick of the questions.
No one had been struggling more than Cordelia. Lucy and Beth had been friends with Venus and Lillian, but Cordelia had known the late girls better than anyone else. They had all been lonely first years whose parents would rather pay up a bunch of money than deal with them. But when they were together, everything seemed okay. Venus had been the strong one who held them up, and Lillian had been a shoulder Cordelia could cry on. Without them, Cordelia felt lost and broken. She had spent days in silence, refusing to believe they were both gone. But they were. Both of them. But the questions broke the silence. After screaming at the reporters, Cordelia ran as fast as she could, tears streaming down her face, away from the front steps in the courtyards and into the social sciences buildings, where the nearest bathroom was. Lucy and Beth followed closely behind.
I can't. I can't. Why? Both of them. I hate it. I hate this.
I know. And the stupid reporters aren't making anything better. Roxburgh should just tell them what they want to hear.
What? No, Lucy, they should just mind their own damn business. They're gonna get the school shut down.
Maybe the school should get shut down. I don't want anyone else to get hurt. Parents are already upset.
Yeah, Mary and Laura got pulled out of my math class earlier this week. Parents don't want their kids at the murder school.
Cordelia paces in circles in the bathroom, still sniffling back sobs.
I can't be alone. If I go home, it's just me. The killer won't ever be found. Dawson and McGee still haven't returned. Maybe Roxburgh has seen to it that they were fired. I don't know. For her, it's all public image. She just wants the money. If I go home, what if whoever it is comes after me there too? I'm really scared.
Lucy walked over to her friend and hugged her tightly, followed closely by Beth.
It'll be okay. I promise. In the end, everything will be okay. It has to be. And Dawson and McGee must still be looking into it. Roxburgh is smart enough not to fire detectives.
Deep breaths, Cordelia. Deep breaths. Come on, let's head back to the dorms. You should lie down. And I need to wrap my hand. I cut it really bad.
As the girls exit the bathroom into the silent hallway, they see Professor Willow storming towards them. She had been running around along with all the other staff at Ollingford, doing what she could do to keep everything afloat. She, of course, had been devastated by the loss of her students, but allowing herself to show even the slightest bit of sorrow might take away from her stony reputation at Ollingford.
Cordelia, Elizabeth, Lucille, I know what you've been doing. I don't think we don't know. I saw the files that someone went through. I know you're trying to solve this yourselves. Roxburgh wants me to take it easy on you. Librarian Lynn thinks that we should just look past it. But I'll tell you what I think. I think you shouldn't be trying to figure out a murder, because you are children. You are children who are so immature and are so far in over your heads that you think you could solve the death of your friends. A word of advice? You should leave this to the authorities, rather than running off and potentially getting yourselves killed.
You can relax. We're done. It's pointless.
What does it matter anyway? It's been decided. Ollingford is closing. Friday is our last day. Good luck, girls. You best start packing up your things.
Upon hearing the news, Cordelia immediately slumped against the wall and started sobbing into her knees. Beth sat down next to her and rested her head on Cordelia's shoulder.
It's over. Maybe this is better? We can start over.
Yeah, we all can.
So, no one's going to solve this? Is it just being ruled out as two, what, unsolved murders?
As the three girls sat in their heavy emotions, Eva stepped out from behind the pillar where she had been hiding from view.
Venus would have figured it out, you know.
What are you doing here?
Venus wanted to figure it out, didn't she? I heard what Professor Willow said. Venus was the one who was going through the files, right? You guys have been trying to solve Lillian's death? That's why you've been so secretive?
We're the ones being secretive?
Luce, don't bother.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it's just you haven't talked to anyone and, well, we kinda assumed you were involved.
You guys, this isn't helpful. Eva's right. Venus would have wanted us to figure it out.
Not with her here.
What? Me? This is unbelievable.
It couldn't have been her. She was with Rosie when Venus, you know.
And what about Halloween?
I can't believe this. I want to help you. Halloween, I was going to talk to Lillian about the summer program. I was going to apologize for being so competitive about it. But I think I scared her. I tripped over myself and fell into the door before I could talk to her. There was a loud thump, and I think she got spooked by the noise, so I left. Seems kind of suspicious, right? Yeah, so I couldn't really tell Dawson and McGee, could I?
Wow. I guess.
I don't have any proof or anything, but you're gonna have to trust me. And anyway, I have something.
What? Is it about them?
Well, when they returned Venus's clothes to the rest of her stuff, for her family to come pick up, something fell out of her pocket. It looked like a torn up file or something like that. She's the one who had been looking through the files, right?
Yeah, she went to the library to try to find more information.
I think she found it, and I think she was trying to get back and talk to you guys with what she found.
What did she find?
Actually, Beth, I think she was trying to get to you.
What?
To protect you.
To protect me from what?
You knew Lillian when you were kids, right?
Yeah, but what does that have to do with anything?
Well, Rosie told me this story about a girl named E and her uncle. They stole small treasures, but eventually something went wrong and E's uncle stabbed a dragon. You told her this story, didn't you, as kids? But it wasn't just kids telling stories.
What on earth are you talking about?
Yeah, get to the point. The library.
Okay, well, the file that Venus found, it belonged to you, Beth. And it shows that you don't actually have any relatives you can live with. That's why you're here. You had been living with your uncle until he tried to rob a bank, and it went wrong. He stabbed an officer that day. In the chest. That's the same way Lillian and Venus were killed. Just like how E's uncle killed that dragon. You, Beth, Elizabeth, you were E, weren't you? And your uncle went to prison for murder?
Wait, Beth, is this true?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't tell you. I never told anyone. I lived near Lillian for a while before my uncle was arrested. I told her the story to share my story without scaring her. I never told her the truth, and, well, I've been writing to him. He's my only living relative. What he did in the bank was an accident. It's not an excuse. I just never thought that he would try and show up here.
Wait, so you think Beth's uncle is what? Escaped from jail? You think he killed Lillian and Venus? That doesn't make much sense.
Think about it. It might. We wouldn't really know much about who has escaped. The prisons probably don't want anyone to know to avoid panic. And anyways, it's not like Ollingford is great about getting us the news.
He probably found out that Lillian knew the story and wanted her gone. Then, when Venus went searching for information, he needed her gone too.
So you think Beth's uncle, who is the killer, is on Ollingford grounds?
Yeah, and he's probably looking for Beth.
And you said Rosie told you the story, so she knows.
Oh, crap. We need to find her. Keep her safe. Should we split up? We need to find Rosie.
I think that's a good idea. I'll check the dorms.
I'll check the science buildings.
I'll check the courtyard.
I'll check the library.
Okay, we meet back here in the common room area at 6 o'clock, whether we find her or not. It's probably the safest place to be. Beth, do you want someone to be with you for safety? Your uncle might be looking for you if he's here.
No, I'll be fine. I know how to be careful. We need to find Rosie.
The girls rushed all over Ollingford to find Rosie. Lucy didn't have much luck in the dorms. Neither did Cordelia in the science buildings, nor Eva in the courtyard. At 6 o'clock, Cordelia, Lucy, and Eva met back in the common room. It wasn't until 6:30, when Beth and Rosie weren't back in the common room, that they realized the grave mistake. Ollingford Academy Episode 4 was written by Carmen Villarreal and Landra Vanderway. The roles in order of appearance are narrator, played by Veronica Bonnell, Lucas Livingston, played by Kurt Wolf, Dean Roxburgh, played by Selena Tran, Ginger Carlson, played by Amy Dow, Cordelia, played by Mylin Wong, Lucy, played by Anaya Thomas, Beth, played by Chelsea Nguyen, Professor Willow, played by Cecilia Carroll, and Eva, played by Gabby Robbins. Ollingford Academy is edited by Diana Vasquez Gonzalez and Angela Rojo.